My name is JJ Hazan, and I have Covid-19. I'm recording this from the High Dependency Unit at Lewisham Hospital. I got ill on the 23rd of December 20, and after a tough week, rang 111 and went through my symptoms. They rang for an ambulance, and 3 hours later, on New Year's Eve, I was admitted to A&E. I was seen immediately, and then sent up to the ICU COVID ward. I'd had a negative test on the 26th of December, and again on arrival at Lewisham Hospital on New Year's Eve, so I was a bit confused. I've been really careful over the last year, mainly staying at home due to no work. I was doing online improv, some COVID-secure acting, and playing poker online, only attending one regular social event a week with the same friends who had all been tested negative. I was in a bad way and finding it really difficult to breathe. And it was clear that the medics were worried as well. However, I didn't have many of the listed COVID symptoms. After a couple of days in hospital and loads of tests, scans and bloods taken, they told me I had Covid-19 and it hit my lungs badly. The level of medical care in the high dependency unit and related wards was just so impressive. Understaffed, under stress, dealing with a relatively new strain of a powerful virus. Their organisation, teamwork, warmth and care was just incredible. I was in pain, couldn't move much, and was really frustrated. I had bruises all over me from being injected 4 or 5 times a day and blood taken for tests. Kicked off a bit at some nursing staff, and they took it well. Seen it all before, I'm sure. The doctors came around every morning, along with the lovely physios called Zoe, Chloe, and Amelia. They were honest and patient with me, and asked loads of questions about my treatment, which was mainly being pumped full of steroids and injected with blood thinners. My stomach looks like a battlefield. Also had painkillers and needed nightly morphine for chest pain and to help sleep. My brain was working fine, but my body had been hit by a sledgehammer. The lovely Dr. Ashok Iyer was calm, clear and energetic, and treated me as the intelligent being that I aspire to be. This made it so much easier to accept my situation and to focus on getting better. It really has to be a team approach that includes the patient as well as the staff. My wife and family were more worried than I was. But no one's allowed to visit COVID wards, so that adds to everyone's stress. I then published a kind of honest, simple account of what was happening to me on Facebook and had over 500 individual responses from old school, university, drama school friends, along with poker and improv community colleagues and mates from all around the world, which was just incredibly humbling and very moving. I've had a tough 2 years and fucked up a new business in 2018, as well as nearly being scammed for everything I have from an old university mate of 40 years. That led to severe depression and suicidal thoughts and a complete stasis for 18 months. I got nothing done, felt sorry for myself and drank a lot. Lied to my wife, hid alcohol around the house and was unreliable. Each lie hurt her more, and it crushed me to be so weak. I still had all my street food business assets and hadn't sold any of it, despite knowing there were no events or festivals for me to trade in 2020 due to lockdown. I was useless, impotent, and in a mess. The only high point was that Reggie and I got married in the UK in October 2019, and then again in the Philippines in February 2020. Even though I hated myself, someone else loved me, and that kept me together. When the UK was considering the first lockdown, we were on an Italian cruise liner for our honeymoon in the Caribbean. Remember when Italy was winning the Covid stakes? Well, we were on one of the last cruise liners that left Miami and had to book new flights back to the UK on arrival in Miami on March the 16th. If we'd have waited for our flights, we wouldn't have got back. We got back just in time and straight into lockdown. We knew things were bad and serious, but in truth, I didn't really understand what Covid-19 was. Having spent 2 weeks in hospital so far, with a few more days to come, I think I've come to understand it more. It's a complete bastard. It doesn't discriminate. It looks for weak points, often lungs, which I now know are quite important for living, and dives straight in. Anyone with existing medical issues, like asthma or heart problems or obesity like me, is at most risk. You've all heard the daily death figures. What they don't tell you is the survival rates are impressively high. But they manage this information carefully so that the UK takes the virus seriously, I guess. Like we were kids who need a lollipop. I guess it makes some sense. However, it doesn't validate the amazing work that the NHS are doing to combat this virus. 80% of all COVID-19 patients survive. So people my age and things. But unfortunately, only 20% of over 80s with complications survive. I don't think I've ever heard these figures from the Talking Heads podium. Our PM and advisors have chopped and changed the strategy over 50 times now, and mainly got it wrong. New Zealand announced on January the 12th, 2021, that they were COVID-free, as they had closed the country to foreigners and had a disciplined, collaborative approach to fighting this vicious virus. We didn't even have testing stations until the end of 2020 and still have no real checks at borders at all, which is disgusting. The knock-on effects of COVID-19 will be similar to the Second World War in economic, social, and emotional cost. Although we will get through this, thanks to the NHS and the scientists working 24/7 for months, life will change. In my world, what will events look like? How will people earn a living in the many recently crushed sectors? I don't know. For me, if I survive, which is looking good right now, and get back to relative fitness, then I have determined to stop wallowing in self-pity and to help others and not focus on myself. This isn't altruism, but it is necessary for my sanity and health. Right now, I can't even do a basic task like standing up or going 5 meters to the bathroom without oxygen support. I piss into a bottle and I'm completely exhausted just getting from the bed to this chair. When resting, I'm fine. And like I said before, my brain is working perfectly. I sleep about 2 hours a night, but I'm not tired as I exert zero energy because I can't. When shit hits you full on in life, you still have some control and choices. Mine is to be positive and remember to be the good JJ and not the self-pitying one. COVID is a complete bastard. But from this experience, I'm determined to come out on top. I have been so lucky in my medical care, and I only have praise for everyone who's helped me. There are 2 nurses covering 20 of us in my COVID ward. There should be 5 or 6. NHS staff also get ill and are at risk every day they work, more than most. And yet they bring meds on time, record everything, are empathetic and caring. Mainly Indian, Filipino and Nigerian, all foreigners, except for a few doctors and all the lovely physios called Zoe. I mention this as they are the real heartbeat of this country. Brexit seems so pathetic in comparison to this rich cultural underbelly. They are not heroes, as such, but a human like you and me. Except they are a group of really impressive professionals, including the catering staff, who make a mean syrup sponge. In my view, the government should reward all NHS staff with a £2,000 holiday voucher each, which will stimulate the withering travel sector, as well as be a well-earned thank you. Clapping's great, but it doesn't mean a lot. I'd be happy to contribute to a People's Fund to make this happen. I'm sure my fellow COVID patients would do exactly the same. I might even bloody start it myself, a la Marcus Rashford, if it's needed. Our NHS is spectacular and needs all our support. So, stay at home, only go out if necessary, and enjoy your loved ones. Do what you can for others around you and be nice. COVID is a very real and powerful adversary. We need to find a way of coming out of this horrible experience as better people and to be more understanding of others. I will be more loving to my wife. I will make sure I keep in touch with my kids and grandkids and help with what they need. I will try and treat everyone with respect and courtesy and use my rapier-like wit without putting people down, which I tend to do. I will focus on others and share joy wherever possible. I've started here in the hospital. I've got the girls laughing. I'm being silly wherever I can. And it's great. Finally, I would like to thank everyone who's reached out and made contact. This has been so incredibly supportive and given me a real strength to beat this bastard and to come out on the other side. I hope this has been useful in some way. Much love, JJ.